All right, so today we're going to be talking about custom groups versus consolidations, and we're going to be talking about when you should use each. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start things off, we're going to create a simple custom group, okay, and we're just going to base it on region. So we'll use the region attribute, so we'll browse to geography, and we'll drag over region, create our first group. And we'll add northeast, northwest, click OK, and we'll rename this, we'll call this north. Then we'll come ahead and we'll go ahead and we'll add our second group, so we'll drag region over again. And this time we'll add mid-Atlantic, we'll click OK, and we'll rename this to, we'll call this mid. And then we'll create a third group, we'll add region over again. And we'll add south, southeast, southwest, and we'll click OK, and we'll rename this south region, or south. Okay, so then we'll save and close this, and we'll call it custom group region. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to create an identical group, so a set of groupings, only this time we're going to use a consolidation. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll add them to the report and we'll look at the differences. And we'll talk about the differences. Okay, so let's create new consolidation. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to browse to geography, region. Now notice, well, you'll see. So let's add northeast. Well, and then we'll click the plus sign, and then we'll add northwest. Okay, now you notice it's a little different, right? It's not like just a custom group is if you want to add filters, right? So if you need really dynamic filtering or groupings, right? But if you just need to combine static elements, you should use a consolidation, okay? Now one of the other things you'll notice here is that we're able to do row level arithmetic here, right? When we're adding the plus sign right here, we're just adding regions, right? But you could do other types of arithmetic here as well. That's another big difference between a custom group and consolidation, whereas a custom group is just a filter, right? So here, well, let's rename this. We'll rename this just like the other one. We'll name this north. Okay, and we'll click here to add another one. We'll name this mid. And then we'll drag over the mid-Atlantic region. And then we'll click here to add another one, and we'll name this south, and as in the custom group, we'll drag over south plus southeast plus southwest. Okay, validate. Okay, and we'll save and close this, and we'll call this consolidation region. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is let's create a report, okay, and let's use our custom group. So we'll create a simple report, a new report. Okay, now let's add our custom group, and then we'll just add some metrics. So we'll just say from the sales metrics we'll add revenue, profit, and let's create a simple filter on year, and we'll just select 2016, click OK, and then let's go ahead and run this report. Okay, so these are our results. You can see our three custom groups, north, mid, and south, but let's go ahead and take a look at the SQL. Okay, let's view the SQL for this. So now the one thing I want you to notice here is look at this number of passes. You see how it creates multiple passes here? That is one of the key differences between a consolidation and a custom group, is that a custom group will create additional or multiple passes of SQL. Okay, so what this means is that these reports, there'll be more overhead, right? The performance for a custom group will be worse. Now that's because a custom group will attempt to handle everything at the database level, right? Using the SQL. Now, In cases where you need really dynamic filtering, you have no choice, right? You have to use a custom group. But in this simple example where we're just using static elements, right? We're just combining multiple regions into single or custom groups, right? In that case, if you're just working with static elements, you're better off going with consolidation. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a report. Well, I'll save this. And we'll name it custom group report. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's create the same report. Actually, no, we'll edit it. Okay. We'll edit this report. Let's go ahead and let's add our consolidation this time. Okay, so it's the same report. The only difference is instead of the custom group, we will use our consolidation. There we go, double click that. Okay, great. Now let's run this. As you can see, the results are the same. We have our 3 groups, north, mid, and south. But now let's go ahead and take a look at this SQL, and let's see the difference here. All right. Now look at this. One clean SQL statement. Now, one thing you might be wondering is, well, where are the custom groupings, right? How can it just do that in one statement? It's just selecting all the regions. If you look at the where clause there, where region is in 162, right? It's just selecting all the regions. How is it grouping them? Well, that's because with a consolidation, the grouping is done in the analytical engine, right? So MicroStrategy is doing that in memory. That's a key difference between a custom group and a consolidation, whereas a custom group will do it at the database level, okay? Right? You don't see the same amount of passes as you saw with the custom group. Even though they're doing the same thing, they're both doing the same thing. As you can see, the consolidation does it in a single SQL statement. Okay, so you will get better performance out of a consolidation as opposed to a custom group, even though you're doing the same thing. Now, again, in cases where you need to do complex or you need more dynamic groups, you have no choice. You have to use a custom group. But when you have the option, you're better off using a consolidation if it's possible. Okay, if it is indeed doable, you will get better performance out of consolidation. So those are some of the key differences, and that's kind of a good rule of thumb. If you're just working with static elements, use a consolidation. In other cases, where when you need the groups to be more dynamic, then you have to use a custom group. Okay, so hopefully all that made sense. All right, so that'll do it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And also check out jamestechtips.com for more BI-related content. And thanks for watching.